This is a good bill, and I'm pleased to sign it.
Well, I think Americans would be stunned to learn that this policy, by the time we get to 2030, could cost as much as $1 trillion. Ethanol and the ethanol mandate was supposed to create a very large renewable source of energy that could replace oil, gas, fossil fuels, and help reduce greenhouse gases.
This country for a long time has been looking for energy independent solutions, and this was billed as one of them.
It was a win-win. It looked like good policy and good politics. I was involved in Vice President Gore's campaign, Senator Kerry's campaign for the presidency in 2000-2004, and in both of those campaigns, we were for the ethanol mandate, we were for ethanol. It looked like it was very popular in Iowa, so it was good politically, and it looked like it was really good for the environment. Instead, we now know that's all changed. It can raise the average family's food bill by $2,000 a year.
We talk a lot in our political rhetoric about trying to make things easier for the little guy, trying to make things easier for working families, trying to be in the business of helping those people. I don't see how a policy that is increasing a food bill annually is actually a sensible policy that marries up with that rhetoric.
In terms of its impact on the engines of cars and other vehicles, you get less power out of it than you do out of a regular gallon of gasoline, so you have to use more of it.
If you get too much ethanol in your fuel tank, it can do real engine damage.
Iowa is the first caucus. It's the first event of the presidential cycle. It's predicted the Democratic nominee every time except one since 1980. It's a pretty powerful predictor of who's going to be the nominee. The amount of money spent there on the campaign is enormous. I think Iowa, in many ways, by the way, is a really good place to start this process. It demands that you go out, that you meet people. It's very personal. Its deleterious effect now is in the form of the ethanol mandate. I mean, 12 years ago, 14 years ago, it wasn't this $4 billion industry.
You obviously do have a lot of political pressure coming from the corn lobby, essentially, in Iowa to try to propel this thing forward.
If you have a $4 billion industry now that's consuming 47% of all the corn grown in Iowa and raising the price of corn, you're obviously going to have a lot of pressure, not just from organized lobbies, but from individual citizens who think they have a stake in this.
Certainly, if you go to the Iowa State Fair, where a lot of candidates come and campaign and you do the sort of soapbox thing, you will notice that basically the ethanol lobby has got all of their stuff set up literally right by the soapbox. This policy was put in place for some reasons that on the face of them look pretty good from a substantive perspective. We're not entirely political, but the fact of the matter is it's not working. It's not delivering what was promised.
So if you want to stand up and fight for working families, if you want to protect the environment, if you want to take action against climate change, then you ought to oppose the ethanol mandate.